Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
And now CHUM's product of the month, Swiss Petite Process Gruyere Cheese.
Well, like Swiss Gruyere, imported from Switzerland.
Imported from Switzerland. Those are the three little words that tell you why only this world-famous cheese gives you that nut-like flavor. Because Swiss Petite Process Gruyere cheese is made with only the purest milk from the beautiful alpine regions of Switzerland. Try this tasty Swiss Petite Process Gruyere cheese tip. For a flavorful springtime dessert, prepare your favorite stuffed baked apples, but for a taste treat, before baking, top each with a triangle of flavorsome Swiss Petite Process Gruyere cheese. But to get that genuine flavor, you must get the round package marked imported from Switzerland. Still only pennies a portion.
And remember, tomorrow the CHUM personalities will be calling in the North Toronto area. If they find you've got Swiss Petite Process Gruyere cheese in your home, you'll receive $10.50 in cash. So stock up now on Swiss Petite Gruyere cheese, CHUM's product of the month. I'd like to remind you, this is the first Dick Clark show. There will be many more to come. On and on we'll go through the weeks, all summer long, fall and winter too. So you make sure you're listening each night between 7 and 9 for the Dick Clark Radio Show on CHUM. Dick, what do you got over there?
I have a very, very gorgeous young lady whose name is?
Linda Gregory.
Linda, how old are you?
17.
How long do you remember back musical songs of the past?
Gosh, I don't know.
Can you remember back 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. In about 2 shakes of a lamb's tail here, we're going to play a pop of the past. But somebody said, who's the guest in the next hour of the Dick Clark Radio Show? We flew here together this morning, and you'll meet him in a few minutes right after this.
Explodes tomorrow night at 8 at the world's only, Toronto's first 100-car destruction derby.
See 60 to 100 cars hurtling toward one another with the sole purpose of destruction.
See the $500 grand prize winner, the last remaining driver and car to survive the onslaught.
See the exciting hobby races, too, and eliminations.
Toronto's first 100-car destruction derby tomorrow night, CNE Grandstand.
A CHUM Pop of the Past. December 58.
Yes, sir. The year was 1958, and see if you remember this one.
When a blemish appears and you're nearly in tears, when a faulty complexion is sheer frustration.
Be a Clearasil girl, a pretty Clearasil girl. Be a clean, trim cutie with clear skin, beauty, feel pretty.
You're pretty again. Take our advice if you win. Clearasil helps heal. It will also conceal. It's a skin medication with a great reputation.
Be a Clearasil girl, a pretty Clearasil girl. Be a clean, trim cutie with clear skin, beauty, feel pretty.
You're pretty again.
Hey, Dave, let's check that time.
It's 20 minutes before 8, Dick.
And the CHUM temperature?
62 degrees.
And the station is CHUM Toronto.
Come and get it. A nourishing meal, a delicious hot sandwich. Kirsch smoked corned beef heats in 3 minutes in the Kirsch boilable pouch. Kirsch smoked corned beef.
Boy, here's one of the busiest men alive. Bobby, have you got writer's cramp yet?
Just a little bit, Dick. We're really enjoying it.
Bobby Curtola, quick question. Who taught you to sing?
Well, I guess I'd have to give all the credit to my mother. I don't know if it's credit or not, but I'm still trying real hard.
You ever think about being a disc jockey?
I never ever did.
Let me put you to work right now. Introduce this next record, will you? Like a big, big fat old disc jockey.
Well, I'll give it a try.
Go.
Well, it's by those unbeatable Beach Boys, and it's called Surfin' USA. Great.
Yes, sir. Surfin' USA by the Beach Boys.
I'd like to remind everybody that the Dick Clark Radio Show is going to be a long-term proposition on CHUM, and we're going to have a swinging session every night, Monday through Friday, between 7 and 9 o'clock. So you make sure you're listening now for the Dick Clark Radio Show, all of the great features, the guests, and the great music, right here on CHUM. Dick?
Bobby Curtola, let me ask you a question about other people in the business. Whom do you admire?
Well, Dick, I'd have to say I admire most of the people that have made it, and the ones that I have met, like Bobby V and Elvis Presley and Connie Francis.
What's your biggest ambition in a professional life? What would you eventually like to do?
Well, sir, they always say that there are only two places in a race. That's first and last. And I'm very fortunate to achieve what I have achieved thus far, and I'm going to keep right in there pushing, that's for sure.
Bobby, let me wish you all the very best. I've torn you away from autographs. We'll shoot you back to that and turn now to Martha and the Vandellas. Yes, sir, Martha and the Vandellas here on the Dick Clark Radio Show, and they'll be our special guest one of these evenings on CHUM. Dave, Mike Darrow, what happened to him? He's on crutches.
Well, I'll tell you, Dick, we have the CHUM champion basketball team, and he was playing basketball at one of the schools.
This is one of your champions?
Some champion!
What happened? What, did he fall out?
Well, yeah, he came down the wrong way in his leg and busted. He's going to be our seventh inning stretch during the news coming up. He's going to come out here and talk to everybody.
Well, he is actually here. In the meantime, we got Bobby Curtola working on the autographs, and boy, is he doing a job. Let's turn it loose now with the Rocky Fellers and Killer Joe. Here's one of the greatest of all the musical talents. He writes, he conducts, he produces, he travels the country, and I've shared his company many, many times. A great performer, ladies and gentlemen, in Musicland, Mr. Gene Pitney. Gene Pitney.
Bobby Curtola, have you ever worked with Gene? Haven't had the pleasure, Dick.
Who is the most interesting man you'd ever shared a stage with and worked with in person?
Gosh, that's
Quite worked with a lot of them, I know that.
Well, like you know yourself, Dick, most of the entertainers are real swell guys, and the fellow that's going to be on the show tonight is a real interesting person.
Give it away.
And I'd say that I've worked with this fellow many occasions, and I think they'll all dig him real much.
I'll tell you what I'd like to do, Bobby, if I may, once again send you to that autograph there. We got a long lineup. Can we join you there?
Okay, we'll see you there.
All right, Bobby, now, here in Musicland, the Raindrop. That's it. That's hour number one of the Dick Clark Radio Show, debuting tonight on CHUM, and that's just the first part. We have another big hour still to go, and a special guest coming up. Stand by now for news with Grant Forsythe.
Grant Forsythe on the News Watch for CHUM. Thermometer 62 degrees under partly cloudy skies. The probability of showers tomorrow, 70%. Cooksville, 2 gunmen were foiled in their attempt to escape from a Cooksville bank today, but not before one police officer from Toronto Township had been wounded, and the bandits chased at speeds up to 90 miles an hour with 2 bank employees as hostages in a stolen police car. Sergeant Bernie Oakes, who surprised the bandits leaving the bank, suffered 2 flesh wounds to his arm. The gunmen, unable to get to their own car, parked at the rear of the bank at Dixie Road and the Dundas Highway, made off with the police car. The hostages, Barry Johnson of Burlington and David Gruber of Guelph, were unharmed during the chase. The bandits were finally forced off the road by Detective Douglas Burrows in a commandeered private car owned by 27-year-old Clay Smith. Smith tells the story of the chase.
I pulled up, I had passed the other cruisers, and I pulled up alongside, and my passengers told me since that the one fella had a gun pointed out the window at us, and then I cut in front of them, and then I just stopped right sort of angle-wise in the middle of the road, and maybe about 10 feet in front of them, and then they hit us. Of course, they were stopped then. They couldn't go any further because they were right at me.
Was this all at high speed?
Well, it had gone down. It had gone down to about 40 miles an hour when I cut in front of them because of the front wheel when the other cruiser had cut them off and rolled over like the other cruiser had rolled over. But, and then the cop that was with me, he jumped out of the car and started shooting. And then Bill and I, we got out of the car as well as the other policemen were shooting then too.
Another question, who's going to pay for the damage on your car?
I don't know, maybe the township will pay for it. I don't know who. But if they don't, why, my insurance may cover it. But under the circumstances, they may not, you see.
Clay Smith, whose car was used today to apprehend 2 armed bandits in custody and charged with attempted murder, are 2 Americans identified as 33-year-old Donald E. Cottom of Tacoma, Washington, and 35-year-old Melvin George Brown of Houston, Texas. Vancouver, BC Attorney General Robert Bonner reports today that $325,000 in cash missing in the $500,000 Loomis armored car robbery last weekend has been recovered. He also announced that 2 more arrests have been made in connection with the case. The money, all in small bills, was recovered from 3 suitcases found in a restaurant in Hope, BC today. Meanwhile, 35-year-old armored car driver Douglas John Brown has boarded a plane at the Toronto International Airport and is headed for Vancouver. He arrived in Metro from Rio de Janeiro on Saturday and has been held by the RCMP ever since. He is being held on a charge of theft over $50. Toronto, the terrace is packed to the rafters tonight as crowds turned out to greet CHUM's Dick Clark. doing his first DJ show at 10:50. Reports from the Mutual Street Ballroom say that 2,000 fans turned out to give Clark a real Toronto welcome. The Dick Clark Show will be heard on CHUM every night, Monday through Friday between 7 and 9 p.m. Chicoutimi, Quebec, $5 million fire is still raging out of control in the Chicoutimi Hospital. The building, one of the most modern hospitals in Quebec province, has been evacuated. Its almost 1,000 patients have been taken to nearby homes, schools, and convents. The blaze broke out at noon following unsigned messages over the weekend, believed to have been sent by the FLQ terrorist organization. Campus casing, a legal technicality, has postponed for a day the preliminary hearing of 19 settlers charged with non-capital murder. The charges stem from a labor clash at Reacher Siding in February, in which 3 strikers were killed. When court opened today, Crown Attorney S.A. Galbraith produced a copy of the authorization for the hearing and said defense counsel J.W. Happy of Toronto had the original. Mr. Happy said that he had never been asked to produce it and added that he was shocked the Crown had not asked for a further order. Magistrate Garner refused his request to proceed on the strength of just the copy. Goose Bay, Labrador, a U.S. Air Force twin-turbine helicopter with a crew of 5 aboard, landed at Goose Bay safely late this afternoon to complete the second leg of a 3,511-mile transatlantic flight, the second ever attempted by a helicopter. Phoenix, Arizona, police have arrested a 50-year-old driver with the Brinks Armored Car Service in connection with the theft of $71,000 from a Chicago branch of the firm. Present thermometer reading 62 degrees. Winds east-northeast at 9.
Rothman's king-size filter cigarettes. Enjoyed by smokers in over 140 countries.
The CHUM time, 8 o'clock.
Live from the terrace in downtown Toronto.
The Dick Clark Radio Show.
Now, in person on his very first show on CHUM, here's Dick Clark. There you are. Now,
Dave, you're slowing down.
I'm sorry, Dick.
Brad Forsyth was full of vim and vigor. We've got another hour still to go and a special guest on the way. This is one of the giants everywhere in music land and a great sound record. These are the Crystals and the Do Run Run.
The world's first and only 2-hole donut, Royal Donut. That's who. And who is the donut named after? Me. That's who. The Belisca nut. The donut that's twice as good because it has 2 holes. I'm going to be giving them away free. You buy a dozen assorted Royal Donuts, right? And there are over 50 varieties. And I will hand you 2 freshly baked, deliciously good Belisca nuts free. So you be sure to be at Royal Donut in the Colony Plaza, Lawrence East at Warden.
This Saturday afternoon, Al will be giving out Belisca nuts at Royal Donut, Lawrence Avenue East at Warden. But all this week at all Royal locations, they're featuring Belisca specials. All this week, you can get the famous Royal Burger with Mama Belisca's famous Hungarian relish at Royal Burger, 269 Yonge and 5280 Dundas West at the 6 Points. And you get an order of French fries free at Royal Donut, Lawrence East at Warden and Danforth at Warden. You'll get a free Belisca nut with every dozen assorted Royal Donuts. All this week, it's a tribute to Al Belisca at Royal Burger and Royal Donut.
CHUM.
CHUM 1050 Toronto.
1050 Toronto.
Oh, we've got a good chum bug here, Mr. Al Belisca. Al, who's the pretty young gal you got?
I haven't got her name yet, Dick. What's your name, honey?
Jenny Arrow.
And we had a great dance together, didn't we?
Yeah.
How did you like it?
Fine. You're a good dancer.
Thank you very much. I'm not really. We've got a lovely prize for you, dear. What school do you go to?
St. John's.
Thank you very much. How about a nice hand for this young lady? Here you are, Dick.
She said you were a good dancer, Al? Oh, the pains. Here we go with hot pastrami mashed potatoes.
Well, with the advent of the Dick Clark Radio Show on CHUM, we are changing the time of the Battle of the New Sounds from here on in. It'll be heard at 9 o'clock. That's 9 o'clock, right after the Dick Clark Radio Show on CHUM. So be listening each and every night and voice your choice on CHUM on the Battle of the New Sounds.
What's Honest Ed really like? His brother Robert tells all in Business is People, on sale at all leading bookstores.
Here's the man who lives it up every afternoon on CHUM, Mr. Bob McAdory.
Hi, Dick. Boy, it's good to have you aboard. Have you seen this little cutie beside me?
Yeah, now, did you do as well as Al Belisca? You better dancer, I hope.
What kind of a dancer am I?
Oh, you're pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, I'm not great. What is your name?
Marie Trudeau.
And what school do you go to, Marie?
St. Joseph's Commercial.
Well, I think you're a pretty great dancer, and there's a prize for you, okay?
Thank you very much.
And I'll just send me the bill for the corn blasters, okay? Here's Dick.
Bob, I don't care what they say. You and Al are the worst. The worst, the worst. Thank you ever much. Now, there's a good one. Try that one for size and listen to this.
Pardon me, sir. Can you make up a rhyme about Speedy Muffler King?
There once was a fellow named Lot who discovered his muffler was shot, so the muffler he needy was purchased at Speedy. Now Lot's shot muffler is not.
Speedy Muffler King, fast 15-minute muffler installations, 7 big locations.
Dave, we're swinging away in music land here on the Dick Clark Radio Show. First night of, I hope, many we'll spend together. Let's check the CHUM time.
Right now, Dick, it's 10 after 8.
And the Toronto weather forecast?
Looks as though we got some showers and cloudy ones on the way with a present temperature of 62 degrees.
Watch cars traveling at high speeds, deliberately crashing, smashing, and wrecking each other.
It's a thrilling carnival of destruction. 60 to 100 cars in a fight to the finish for $500.
It's a hair-raising, spine-tingling spectacle. Toronto's first 100-car destruction derby, tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Admission $2, children under 12, 50 cents.
It's at the CNE Grandstand.
Now, for anybody who's dancing, here's a lady's choice. Give the gals a chance to pick their own partner. A pretty one by Paul and Paula. First Quarrel.
Who makes the world's first and only two-hole donut? Royal Donut, that's who. And who is the donut named after? Me, that's who. The Belisca nut. The donut that's twice as good because it has 2 holes. I'm going to be giving them away free. You buy a dozen assorted Royal Donuts, right? And there are over 50 varieties. And I will hand you 2 freshly baked, deliciously good Belisca nuts free. So you be sure to be at Royal Donut in the Colony Plaza, Lawrence East at Warden.
This Saturday afternoon, Al will be giving out Belisca nuts at Royal Donut, Lawrence Avenue East at Warden. But all this week at all Royal locations, they're featuring Belisca specials. All this week, you can get the famous Royal Burger with Mama Belisca's famous Hungarian relish at Royal Burger, 269 Young and 5280 Dundas West at the 6 Points. And you get an order of French fries free. At Royal Donut, Lawrence East at Warden and Danforth at Warden, you'll get a free Belisca nut with every dozen assorted Royal Donuts. All this week, it's a tribute to Al Belisca at Royal Burger and Royal Donut.
Two more guests to go here on the Dick Clark Radio Show. And once again, it's guest time. Let's have our guests sign in, please. This is a man with a record that now lists number 35 on the CHUM chart. On its way up, the record is Charlena. Here is Richie Knight. Richie, that's delightful. This is a nice time to meet you. We meet for the first time. Where do you make your home?
In Toronto here.
How old a fellow are you? You look kind of young.
Well, I'm 21.
Have you made any other recordings before this?
No, this is our first, actually. We're very happy with it, too.
When you went in to make this record, did you have any idea that the big things were going to happen to you?
Well, we thought maybe around Toronto. We had a lot of... Well, everybody liked it around Toronto, and they asked us if we were going to record it, so Art found us, and they let us, so...
Richie will be happy to know that the reports are coming in all across Canada and filtering down into the States, and you look like you have yourself a giant on hand. Would you spend a few minutes with autographs with us?
I sure will. Yeah.
Thank you, Richie, very, very much. Certainly appreciate it.
It's poppin' good. Pop's Popular Popcorn. Now in 6 tempting taste treats. Barbecue, pizza, onion and garlic, hickory and bacon, buttered and cheese flavored. Buy all, try all 6 Pop's Popcorn. Available at confectionery stores in town.
David, it's tongue twister time here on the Dick Clark Radio Show. I want to try you one that Jimmy Dean got me on. Say, Steve Spitz